Hey there, my name is Chris. I go by Can't Quit Chris on social media, and I am the founder of Can't Quit Consulting. I've been doing private company consulting for about 15 years now in every industry from Christian ministries to luxury watches and goods. I've done technology, investing, and most recently, over the last several years, I've done home services, particularly in the roofing industry. Now, in about 2016, I was actually teaching at a Bible college, and a student slash friend of mine reached out to me. He was working at a roofing company, and he had asked for a little bit of help in putting together a couple of canvassers and some training for them to go door to door so he wouldn't have to do all of that himself. And the short version of the story is that eventually the owner of the company asked me to lunch, and by the end of the lunch he'd asked me to do that for his whole company, which at the time had about 35 sales reps doing around $10 million a year. And this was a great opportunity, and as we started to dig into things, I found out that he was hoping that I would actually track the leads in an Excel spreadsheet. And if you do the math, you're looking at 35 reps, you're talking about $10 million, you're talking about a lot of leads coming in. And the idea of putting all of those leads into an Excel spreadsheet was obviously problematic. Well, this opened the door for me because I realized shortly thereafter that this was an industry with a lot of opportunity, because it's not a large ticket price. Homeowners need the help, particularly in the insurance side of things. And just being frank, there was a lack of operational efficiency that I noticed right away. And so I became his director of operations in a fractional capacity and did some sales, did some door-to-door canvassing as needed as well. And ended up doing that for a couple of companies. And then at the beginning of 2019, one of my clients, the two partners split ways. Both of them invited me to work with them in a partnership capacity. And so I ended up working with one of them, and we started a company at the beginning of 2019. By 2022, we actually exited to a private equity firm. And I worked with them for a little bit and then took some time off and just did some other consulting in other industries for a little bit. And now I'm back, and we're launching officially the Can't Quit Consulting for contractors, as well as the Can't Quit Consulting for general businesses. And so one of the things that I wanted to do in this launch was to provide a free product, something that I could give away for free. Obviously, I can't give away everything for free, but I wanted to give away something free, and I didn't want it to be some kind of a cheap hook like, oh, I'll give you a one-pager if you give me your email kind of a situation. I wanted to actually provide something substantive, something of value. And so our process that we follow is ADAPTS, ADAPTS. That's audit, design, arrange, purge, technologize, and subcontract. I go into that in other videos. However, the first step in that is to audit. And the idea here is we want to figure out where we are, and then we design is the second step. So we want to know where we are so we can know, and then we want to know where we want to go. That way we can actually follow that process and get from A to B or A to Z, hopefully. And the audit process is very robust. And most of the time what we do is we come in and I personally dig into the business. I ask questions. I do this over Zoom calls. I do it in person with clients. And a lot of the times we can figure things out very quickly. I can find things out 5, 10, 15 minutes on some smaller companies, or even some companies that just don't have very robust systems. If you're a larger, more established company, it takes longer, obviously, because you guys have less holes in your pipeline. You guys have already worked through that. You probably already have executives that figure those things out, and so it takes a little bit more poking to find the holes. However, what I wanted to do is give a product to people that they could use without having to pay me anything to come in and do this for them. And so what I did was I took not all of, but a lot of our core auditing questions that we utilize inside of the home services industry as well as outside of that, but particularly in the home services industry. And I wanted to create a file or a document for you guys so that you could go through that on your own. And there's some instructions in there, but effectively what I would recommend you do is go through each question, take some time to do this because it's really going to be worth your effort to do this the right way instead of rushing through it. And I know it's tough. I'm a business owner, have been a business owner in the home service industry. There's always fires to put out. You have things you have to deal with. But if you can find some time, carve out a little bit of time, go through all the questions. Now we've done some multiple choices in there to help kind of ease things a little bit so you don't have to think as much. Now obviously you're not going to have everyone exactly aligned with what your situation is, but we tried to give some options in there that you could get close. And what I would recommend you do is take two different colors, and this is written out in the document as well, but take two different colors, maybe a red for where you are and a green for where you want to be, and circle it. So if there's a question that says, do you currently do XYZ? Or how do you do XYZ? And there's maybe 3 or 4 options, and you're at option B, circle that in red, and then maybe option C is where you want to be, circle that in green. And just go through the entire document. What you'll do at the end is you'll actually have a list of priorities that you've put together of things that you would like to change, and you'll have a very good idea of where your business stands. Now again, if we actually I come in and do this myself, we get much more detailed, we get granular, we start hitting very pointed questions. Obviously, you can only do so much in a static document that's designed to help everybody, but I did the best I could for a first draft of just trying to get something into your hands that you could use that would help you find some holes in your business and maybe start coming up with some ideas. Obviously, if you'd like to engage with us to figure out some solutions or dig deeper into those questions, into the audit process, we're here for you. But hopefully, the home service industry, business in general, has been a huge blessing to me personally. It's opened the doors for a very robust life, a lot of impact on people, and a lot of financial freedom for myself, and I'm very grateful for that. And so to give back, wanted to give something substantial that you guys could utilize, and I hope this helps. Looking forward to connecting with you guys in the future, and if you have questions, comments, concerns, as always, feel free to reach out. Thank you so much.